I'd be happy to. Here's a continuous, approximately 1,400-word story script based on your title, with no headings, written in a cinematic, emotional narration style. Writing. The town of Red Creek was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else's business. News traveled faster than the wind, and judgments were often made long before the truth had a chance to catch up. It was a peaceful town on the surface, surrounded by rolling hills, cattle ranches, and endless fields stretching beneath a wide blue sky. But beneath that quiet charm lived people who could be surprisingly cruel when someone no longer fit the picture they expected. Emma Brooks had once been the woman everyone admired. She owned a cozy flower shop on the corner of Main Street, where fresh roses, daisies, and wildflowers brightened every window. Her warm smile greeted every customer, and she remembered birthdays, anniversaries, and favorite flowers without needing to write anything down. She believed small acts of kindness could change a person's day, and most people loved her for it. At 28, life seemed to be unfolding exactly as she had imagined. She dreamed of expanding her little shop into a greenhouse and teaching children how to grow flowers. She wasn't rich, but she was happy, and in Red Creek, happiness was something people noticed. Then one morning, everything changed. Emma woke to find strands of hair scattered across her pillow. She frowned, assuming it was nothing more than stress. Running a business wasn't always easy, and everyone lost a little hair now and then. She brushed it aside and carried on with her day. But the next morning, there was even more. Within weeks, brushing her hair became heartbreaking. Every stroke filled the brush with thick clumps. Every shower left the drain covered. She visited doctor after doctor until one finally gave her an answer she never expected. She had developed a rare autoimmune condition that attacked her hair follicles. The illness wasn't dangerous to her life, but it would likely leave her permanently without hair. Emma sat silently in the examination room, unable to process what she'd heard. She wasn't afraid of being sick. She was afraid of how the world would see her afterward. 3 months later, every strand was gone. She stared into the mirror, barely recognizing the woman looking back at her. She tried scarves, hats, and expensive wigs, but none of them felt like her. They felt like costumes hiding someone who no longer existed. At first, the people of Red Creek offered sympathy. "I'm so sorry," they said. "You'll get through this. If you need anything, let me know." But sympathy faded quickly. Customers stopped coming to her flower shop as often. Some whispered that she must have cancer. Others quietly worried that whatever she had might somehow spread. Parents pulled curious children away instead of answering their questions with kindness. One afternoon, Emma overheard 2 women outside her store. "It's such a shame. She used to be so beautiful." Emma stood frozen behind the window, pretending to rearrange bouquets while their words pierced deeper than either of them realized. Soon, loneliness became her closest companion. The laughter she once shared with neighbors disappeared. Invitations stopped arriving. Even people she'd known for years suddenly seemed uncomfortable holding a conversation. She wondered if losing her hair had somehow made her invisible. Across town lived Cole Walker. Cole wasn't just another rancher. He owned one of the largest cattle ranches in the county and had earned a reputation as one of the finest rodeo champions in the state before retiring from competition. Tall, confident, and respected wherever he went, he was the man mothers hoped their daughters would marry. Women admired him, men trusted him, yet despite countless opportunities, Cole had never married. He wasn't looking for perfection. He was waiting for something real. Years earlier, when Cole's father had been hospitalized after a terrible riding accident, most people who called themselves friends disappeared after the first week. Only one person kept showing up. Emma. Every Friday, she quietly delivered fresh flowers to his father's hospital room. She never accepted payment. She simply smiled, arranged the flowers, and wished him a peaceful weekend before leaving. Cole never forgot that. Kindness had a way of staying with him. One quiet afternoon, Cole walked into Emma's flower shop. She looked up, surprised. "I don't think I've ever seen you in here." He smiled warmly. "I figured I was overdue." He wandered through the shop, studying every bouquet as though each one held a story. "I'll take them." Emma blinked. "Which one?" "All of them." She laughed softly. "All of them, every last bouquet." As she wrapped the flowers, she couldn't help asking, "That's a lot of flowers." Cole shrugged. "So is the amount of kindness you've given this town." For the first time in months, Emma smiled without forcing it. The next day, he returned. Then again 2 days later. Sometimes he bought flowers. Sometimes he simply sat in the shop drinking coffee while she worked. They talked about horses, books, storms, childhood memories, and dreams they had almost forgotten. Neither of them noticed the time passing. The town noticed, though. Rumors spread almost immediately. He's only helping her because he feels sorry for her. It won't last. He'll move on once the novelty wears off. Cole ignored every whisper. Emma tried to. Still, the words hurt. One Saturday morning, Cole invited her to the annual county fair. Emma hesitated. I don't belong somewhere everyone will stare. They'll stare because they're curious, Cole answered. That doesn't mean you have to hide. She looked down at the scarf wrapped around her head. I don't know if I'm ready. He nodded gently. Then wear it if it makes you comfortable. Just don't wear it because someone else expects you to. At the fair, children rode the carousel while music echoed through the fairgrounds. The smell of barbecue drifted through the warm evening air. As Emma walked beside Cole, she felt eyes following her everywhere. She reached instinctively for her scarf. Cole quietly took her hand. You don't owe anyone an explanation. His calm confidence settled her racing thoughts. Halfway across the fairgrounds, she stopped walking. Slowly, she untied the scarf. The breeze touched her bare head. For a moment, everything seemed silent. People looked. Some whispered. Others simply smiled. An elderly woman approached her. My granddaughter lost her hair during treatment last year, she said softly. Seeing you walk proudly like this will help more people than you know. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Maybe courage wasn't the absence of fear. Maybe it was choosing not to let fear decide your life. A few weeks later, Cole attended a charity dinner hosted by one of the wealthiest ranching families in the county. Emma accompanied him. The room sparkled with expensive decorations and polished silver. As they mingled with guests, one elegantly dressed woman stepped toward Cole. She smiled politely before glancing at Emma. You've always had your choice of beautiful women, she said quietly. I must admit, I'm surprised. Cole looked directly at her. Surprised by what? She hesitated. Well, your companion. The room grew noticeably quieter. Cole set his glass down. You see someone without hair, he said calmly. I see the woman who visited my father every week when everyone else forgot he existed. You see appearances. I see loyalty. You see what she lost. I see everything she still has. No one spoke. The woman's face flushed with embarrassment. Emma looked away, overwhelmed. As they left the event that evening, she whispered, You didn't have to defend me. Cole smiled. I wasn't defending you. I was telling the truth. Over the following months, something remarkable happened. People slowly began returning to Emma's flower shop. Not because they pitied her. Because they realized how wrong they had been. Children who once stared now asked thoughtful questions. Parents answered honestly instead of pulling them away. Emma even began speaking at local schools about confidence, kindness, and accepting differences. Her story reached neighboring towns, inspiring people facing illnesses, disabilities, and struggles of their own. She discovered that losing her hair had never taken away who she was. It had simply revealed who everyone else truly was. One crisp autumn evening, Cole invited Emma to his ranch. The sun dipped below the hills, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Horses grazed peacefully nearby while wildflowers covered the meadow like a colorful blanket. Cole led her to a wooden bench overlooking the valley. I've brought you here many times in my imagination, he admitted. Emma smiled. You have. Only difference is, back then I was too nervous to say what I wanted. She laughed. I've never known you to be nervous. I am now. He reached into his jacket and removed a small velvet box. Then he knelt. Emma Brooks, life has a strange way of showing us what's important. Most people spend their lives chasing perfection. But perfection doesn't comfort someone in a hospital. It doesn't stay when life becomes difficult. It doesn't choose kindness when no one's watching. He opened the box. I fell in love with your heart long before either of us realized it. I don't care whether you have hair tomorrow or never again. I only know I want every tomorrow to be with you. Will you marry me? Emma's tears blurred the setting sun. She nodded before she could even speak. Yes. His smile was brighter than the evening sky as he slipped the ring onto her finger. Their wedding took place beneath a towering oak tree the following spring. Emma wore a simple white dress. No wig, no scarf, no attempt to hide. She walked proudly toward the man who had seen her worth long before the rest of the world remembered how. Many guests cried as they watched them exchange vows. Not because of what Emma had lost, but because they had witnessed a love built on compassion instead of appearances. Years later, their young daughter sat on Emma's lap while flipping through the family wedding album. She pointed at one photograph. Mommy, she asked innocently, why didn't you wear hair on your wedding day? Emma smiled gently. Because I wanted your daddy to marry the real me. The little girl turned toward Cole. Daddy, would you still marry Mommy if she didn't have hair today? Cole wrapped his arm around Emma's shoulders without hesitation. I'd marry her every single day for the rest of my life. Their daughter smiled and hugged them both. Outside, the wind carried the scent of wildflowers across the ranch, just as it had on the day they first admitted what their hearts already knew. In a world that often measures people by appearances, their story became a reminder that beauty fades, trends change, and perfection never lasts. But kindness, loyalty, and unwavering love have a way of growing stronger with every passing year. And sometimes, the person everyone else overlooks is the one whose heart shines the brightest of all.